God always keeps His promises. This is something we can always count on. We can have peace and joy in our life because we know this. How awesome is that? Let's open our Bibles to Isaiah 9, verses 6 and 7, and see what God has to say. The book of Isaiah is in the Old Testament of the Bible. Everything in the Old Testament happened before Jesus was born, hundreds of years before Jesus was born. Listen to what our Bible verse says. For a child has been born for us, the gift of a son for us. He'll take over the running of the world. His names will be Amazing Counselor, Strong God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace. When we read this, it tells us that God is sending the gift of a son, God's Son, and He will rule the world and will call Him Prince of Peace. This baby will bring us peace. The next verse tells us this: of the greatness of His government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over His kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. In this verse, God promises Isaiah that our Savior will bring greatness and peace that will continue forever. Remember again that God gave this promise to His people hundreds of years before Jesus was born, and He kept His promises. We can have joy in our hearts knowing that God is in control of our lives, and He always keeps His promises. When we read the Bible, we can learn about all of God's promises. Sometimes we may not understand what everything means, but we can have joy knowing that God is in control of our lives and will always do what is right for us. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. See you next time for more Pop-Up Good News.